Translation: duties, or dharma, executed by men, regardless of occupation, are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Lord.
So, dharma sanuskita pungsha. Dharma generally meant occupation and duty. We have several times explained. The English dictionary, dharma is explained as faith. So, it may be changed, but actually what is meant by dharma, that is constitutional position. Activities in one's constitutional position. This has been explained by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jivet Swarupa Nitya Krishnada. Real dharma, constitutional position of the living entity is to serve Krishna. That is real dharma. Krishna also confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam vraja. So, mam ekam saranam vraja, simply unto Krishna surrender. That is real dharma. Otherwise, it is pseudo religious principle, pretension. Dharma plojjita koitava. There are two kinds of dharma. Koitava, cheating religious system, and real religious system. That is the subject matter of Srimad-Bhāgavatam. To teach people the real religious system. In this chapter also, Sutta Goswami has explained, Savai Pungshan Paro Dharma Jato Bhakti Yoga. You can execute your occupational duties or religious system very nicely. But if you do not develop your love for God, Krishna, then it is simply useless labor. It has no meaning. The test is how much you have developed your dormant consciousness for loving Krishna. That is the test. Bhakti parishanubhava virakti annatrasya. If actually one is making progress in devotional service, he must be detestful to any other system. They are not interested. Actual interest is Krishna, Vishnu. That is your actual interest. Especially when one comes to the form of the human being, his special interest should be how to approach Vishnu. Nati vidu sātagatim hi Vishnu. Sātagatim, self-interest. Everyone is inclined for self-interest. But they do not know what is real self-interest. Somebody is thinking to satisfy the senses, body, That is self-interest. Somebody is thinking to satisfy the mind, whims of the mind. That is self-interest. Somebody is thinking liberation of the self, moksha. That is also not self-interest. But when one thinks in terms of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is real self-interest. Nati vidu sāta gatim hi Vishnu. People do not know.
Have your back on this side. सामने मुख करे
Vishnu. Real self-interest is to become Vaishnava, servitor of Vishnu. Vishnu asya devata iti Vaishnava. That is real self-interest. Why people do not become Vaishnava? Generally, they worship various demigods, devotee of Lord Shiva, devotee of Goddess Kali, Durga. So many. But they have been condemned by Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Krishna himself. Kamastasya hitoghyana jajanti annadevata. Hitoghyana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives his comment. Hitoghyana nasta buddhaya. One who has lost his intelligence, they are inclined to worship other demigods. Kamastasya hitoghyana. Because they do not know what is his self-interest. He thinks that his self-interest is to give comfort to this body, the senses, sense gratification. That is his misguided self-interest. Durasayādi vahirarthamāni. Vahirarthamāni. Vahirartha means external relation. This body, gross body and the subtle body, they are made of the external energy. Bhumi-rapa anala-vayu, bhagavana-buddhi. So, people having no information of these spirit souls, they are interested in body and mind, and they have created some concocted religious system for benefit of the body and the mind. So the Varnāśrama dharma begins from the Varnāśrama dharma, which is now going on in the name of Hindu religion. Actually, there is no such word, Hindu, in the Vedic literature. It is a concocted word given by the Mohammedans. Real Vedic system of religion is Varna and Ashrama. 4 Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And 4 Ashramas: Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sanyas. So, one has to execute, the Brahmins must execute his system of life, sattva, sama, dhamma, titikha, ajava, jnanam, vijnanam, astikam, brahma karma, savāda. The Brahmins must execute all these principles of life Similarly, Kshatriya, he should be very brave, not to go away from fighting. He must have a ruling capacity. He must be charitable. In this way, Kshatriya must execute his system of life. Similarly, Vaishya, he must also execute his system of life. Kisi Goraksha Vanijam, Vaishya Dharma Svabhajam. Agriculture, cow protection. Nowadays, either Brahmin or Kshatriya and Vaishya, practically everything is lost. Nobody is executing his occupational duties. Simply Shudra, without any knowledge, without any enlightenment, try to get some money and fill up your belly and go on sleeping. That's all. This is Shudra Karma Svabhava. Parichajyatmakam karma. Therefore, Shastra says, Kalau Shudra Samabha. In this age, practically 99.9% population are Shudras. Because they have given up, they have forgotten everything. What is the duty of Brahmin, what is the duty of a Kshatriya, what is the duty of a Vaishya. Maybe some Vaishyas are there and Shudras are there. So, even one executes his sadhana very nicely. But if he does not develop his Krishna consciousness, then samayeva kevalam. This is also simply spoiling the life. On the other hand, Narad Muni gives his opinion, Tattva sadhanmam charanambujam hare. If one gives us his occupational duties and takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, charanambujam hare. See, even he is not mature and falls down from the devotional service on account of so many reasons, still he is not loser. Whereas a person who is executing his occupational duties very nicely, but he has no Krishna consciousness, no idea of Krishna consciousness, he doesn't get anything. He's loser. Bhuvatayapta avadatam sadadvata sadamata. Keeping in his own position as a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, if he is executing his duties very nicely, but has not developed Krishna consciousness, then it is to be understood that he has lost everything. This is the Bhagavatam Shastra. Dharmasthana pangshan vishtakshena tathatisa notpadayet ratingyati. This hearing process is very, very important. But people are not interested in hearing. They are simply busy in some other duties. My Guru Maharaj used to say, one was not interested in hearing, he used to call him a Vṛndāvana class. Vṛndāvana class of man. That means simply knows how to make Vṛndāvana. Anyone who will come to him, you will see whether it is Vṛndāvana class or hearing class. So, Dandavat is nice. But by offering Dandavat, if one does not develop the intent of hearing, Savana, that is not making very much progress. As you know, because I was little interested in hearing my Guru Maharaj, he accepted me as a disciple. He remarked this boy is interested in hearing, he does not go out. Actually, I do not know, I could not understand what he was speaking in the beginning. But still I was very much interested to hear it, out of curiosity or something. The hearing is very important. No spadayet jadirate vishakshena katha duja. Katha, harikatha. This is accepted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he was talking with Sri Ramananda Raj on various subject matters, Sri Ramananda Raj began from the Varnashram Dharma. Sadha sadhana. What is the aim of human life? How a human being executes his religious principles, sadha sadhana. So, Ramananda Raj began from the Varnashram Dharma. Actually, unless the human society comes to the category of Varnashram Dharma, he is not a human being. He is animal. Still in India, because they are still inclined to the system of Varna and Ashrama, there are so many benefits for the Indians. I have traveled all over the world so many times. Because there is no Varnashram Dharma, how loose they are. That has been experimented, I have seen. So actually, unless one comes to the standard of Varnashram Dharma, he is not considered to be a human being. Therefore, the Vedic civilization begins from the Varnashram. And in the Vishnu Purana it is said, Varnashramacharvata Purusena Parapuma Vishnu Aradhate. Because the ultimate goal is to approach Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Aradhate Pumsa Nanda Tattva Sukaram. So, this Varnashram Dharma was proposed by Ramananda Raj, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Iho Bhajyo Age Kaho. This is not feasible. Better, if you know something better than this, you propose. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that in the Kali Yuga, practically the Varnashram Dharma will never be observed, or it will be very difficult to observe. So people, by simply observing the Varnashram Dharma, will not be able to make very much progress in devotion and service. Stereotype. In this way, gradually, Sri Ramananda Raj presented so many proposals, Varnashram Tyag, Jnana, Mishra, Bhakti, so many ways, and Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected all of them. Iho Vajya Age Kaho. But when Ramananda Raj placed one version which was spoken by Lord Brahma, Jnane Priyasam Udupasanamanta Eva Jivanti Sarvamukuritāna Bhagavadiya Vārta Thāne Sthita Sudigatāna Sanumāmanohi. Prayaso aditopi jitapasi stoistilokyam. This verse, when Ramananda quoted from Srimad-Bhāgavatam, immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted and he said, you have all. This is nice. This is nice. What is that? Thane sthita sutigatan sunumangano. You remain in your position. It doesn't matter what you are. You may be Indian, you may be American, you may be European, you may be Brahman, you may be Shudra, you may be engineer, you may be doctor, you may be fool, you may be rascal, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. Sthane sthita. Don't be disturbed. Don't try to change your position. But Jnana-prayasam mudapasa navantari. Don't try to speculate. God is like this, God is like that. Speculator, mental speculator. Give up this habit. Just become humble, numb. Jnana-prayasam mudapasa navanta. Navanta means numb. Offering obeisance, just like we offer Dandavad. So similarly, Namanta, to surrender, in a surrendering spirit, in a humble spirit, try to hear about the Supreme from the realized soul. This is the process. Sarvaparitam, not professor, one who has actually realized. From him, if you hear meek and humble, without speculating mentally, then by this process only one can realize the Supreme Lord. Very easy. Supreme Lord is called Ajita. Nobody can conquer him. But if one adopts this process, from the realized soul, in an attitude of humbleness, then he can conquer the Ajita. He can understand. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately accepted this process. You have heard. You have heard. This is nice. Therefore, our Krishna Consciousness movement is to give chance to the people in general hearing about Krishna. That's it. Either hearing Hare Krishna mantra, or hearing Bhagavad Gita, or hearing Srimad-Bhāgavatam, anything you like, hear about Krishna. Try to hear about Krishna in meek and humble attitude. Then gradually everything will be revealed. Atas Sri Krishna Namadi Navavidrayam Indriyai. By simple speculation, you cannot understand what is Krishna, what is his name, what is his form, what is his quality, what is his pastime. We cannot. Atas Sri Krishna Namadi Navavidrayam Indriyai. By these blind senses we cannot understand what is Krishna. Sevanmukhi jivhado sayameva surattana. But if you engage yourself in his transcendental loving service, beginning with the tongue. Sevanmukhi jiva. So hearing by the ear and chanting by the tongue is the supreme method recommended by all authorities. This is Sravanam Kirtanam. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Parvasivanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Mahasamudiyana. So we must be inquisitive, we must be very eager. That eagerness should be aroused. Where Krishna Katha is being taught, let me go there, let me hear. In this Vṛndāvana you find there are many places they are hearing about Krishna. So, either Vṛndāvana or anywhere else, wherever Krishna is heard, that is Vṛndāvana. Not that Vṛndāvana is limited with a certain speed. Vṛndāvana is transcendent. Tatra Krishnami Narada Tatra Gayanti Madhu. Krishna says, I stay there where my pure devotees chant about me. Tatra Gayanti Madhu. So if you become pure devotee, and if you chant this Hare Krishna mantra, you can create Vṛndāvana anywhere, any part of the world. Not that you have got to come here. You come here, that's all right, because it is established Vṛndāvana. When Krishna comes here, whenever he comes on this planet, he comes here, there are so many devotees. Certainly, there is meaning, there is importance of this dham. But still, if it is not possible to come here, you can create Vṛndāvana anywhere, provided you are a pure devotee and you are chanting Hare Krishna mantra without any audience. Just like we have got our new Vṛndāvana. This year we have seen practically how these American boys and girls, hundreds and thousands, always were remaining not less than 500 to 700, and for 1 week continually in Janmashtami we observed Janmashtami festival. Actually, it was as good as this Vṛndāvana, because the chanting of the holy name was going on, and hearing about Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was going on. There was Tulsi, friends, devotees, Srivigraha, everything was there. So actually it was replica of Sri Vṛndāvana. So therefore, the most important thing is to make advance in devotional service, to increase the appetite for hearing. Vishakshena kathasu, nutpadaidarate. Kathasu rate. Kathasu means, rati means attraction to kathasu, that means hearing. Savanam. So, this is the test that anyone who is supposed to be advancing in devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, the test will be how much he has awakened his intense desire for hearing about Krishna. That is the test. That is the test. So, the perfectional platform is stated here that you may execute your defined occupational duties, dharma, but the taste will be whether you have developed your consciousness, you have developed your Krishna consciousness. That is the test. You can read this short word.
There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist, who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort.
This is very important point. People are very much interested in welfare activities for the human society. So they think that by feeding poor man or giving clothes or opening hospitals, schools, colleges, these things are required. What is the use of hearing about Krishna? That is their opinion. But these welfare activities are extended selfishness. This word we learned from our Guru Maharaj. Extended selfishness. Just like I love myself for my self-gratification, and then I extend it to my son. I am gratifying myself, I got my wife, and to get my son another wife. The principle is the same. Then my grandchildren, then my great-grandchildren. Or not only limited with the family, then society, then community, then nationality, then internationality. But they are all extending selfishness. Yes. Without knowing what is the real self-interest. Therefore we find so many faults in such welfare activities. And they are opening hospitals for the human being. Vṛndāvana Seva. But the poor, goats and cows, Vṛndāvana, they are also Vṛndāvana according to the definition, but they are being killed. For one Vṛndāvana, another Vṛndāvana is being killed. So that kind of philanthropy is not accepted in the Srimad-Bhāgavatam as very advanced of civilization. The advancement of civilization will be tested how the nation, individually or collectively, has advanced in Krishna consciousness. It is very difficult to understand this, but the fact is this. Bhagavad says that you cannot rectify the destiny of another man. That is not possible. Balasaneha saranam pitaro nisimha. It is not that because one has got good parents, therefore he will be happy. No, not necessarily. Balasaneha saranam pitaro nisimha. So similarly, it is not that a diseased person, because he is being treated by a first-class physician and is being supplied first-class medicine, therefore he will be cured. No, there is no such guarantee. Because if the supreme authority does not sanction, suppose a man is diseased, he is going to die or suffering, so his relatives and friends are trying to save him. The Shastra says that you cannot save him simply by giving him first-class medicine or first-class medical treatment. They cannot guarantee. You ask any qualified doctor that this man is being treated by you, can you guarantee that he will be cured? They will say no, that is not. We are trying our best. Therefore, we should know the ultimate sanction depends on Krishna. I have a practical experience because I was dealing in medicine. So the attending physician of my pharmacy, he came back from a course and told me that I saw one patient lying in a very precarious condition, suffering from pneumonia. So according to our science, he could not live. I do not know how he is living. There are so many cases. I had dealings with medical men. One big medical man in Goa, he told me that, Mr. Dev, that we give very first-class medicine to a patient. To my best knowledge, he dies. And I try one small medicine, and he is safe. That is my practical experience. He was more than that, he told me. So actually, unless one is saved by the supreme authority, there is no question of saving him by so many philanthropic works. Actual saving is Krishna Consciousness movement. Because if one is raised to his Krishna Consciousness, the whole problems of his life will be solved. That is real welfare activity. Other things you cannot change. If one is destined to suffer by some agency, you cannot stop. Therefore Bhagavad says, Tasyaiva heta prajateta povita nalabhate dharmatam. You simply try to awaken your Krishna consciousness, which was impossible in other living conditions. Either going to the heaven planet or going to the hell planet or becoming Brahma or ant, do not try for all this elevation. Simply try for awakening of Krishna consciousness. Then why so many people are trying for happiness? The answer is, Sallabhate dukkha vadannata sukham kalena sarvatra gavīradam. Nobody tries for distress comes. Similarly, even if you do not try for your happiness, if you are destined, happiness will come. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, it is simply happiness, there is no more distress. If we become steadily situated in Krishna consciousness, then it is simply happiness, as Vṛndāvana Saraswati has explained. Visham Purnam Sukhaya. There is no problem for a devotee. Visham Purna. Everyone is perplexed with the problems of this universe, but for a devotee, Visham Purnam Sukhaya. I think I am done. Thank you. Manasa deha geha joki sumoro otpino tuapade nanda kishore. You are family man, so he surrendered everything. His body, his mind, his family, his children, everything under Krishna. Manasa deha geha joki sumoro otpino tuapade nanda kishore. Maravi Rakhavi Jai Chatwara. In this way there is a nice song. So, you cannot take charge of your family, society, your community, your country. No. Everything is going on under the influence of different modes of material nature. Just like in our country, when Gandhi was living, he got Swaraj, and still he was thinking he had to do something, and he did not separate from politics. He was an old man, he should have retired, but he did not, unless he was killed by somebody. This is the attachment for material things. All these leaders, they think without me the country will go to hell. But so many leaders came and gone, the country is going on.
Still to hell.
Therefore, in Bengal it is said, Raja Mule Rajya Attai. Because the king has died, therefore kingdom is stopped. That is nothing. It will go on. Why do you bother? That is knowledge. Krishna is taking care. You just engage yourself in the service of Krishna. That is your duty.